Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we are focusing on SEO and marketing strategies, the stuff that can really boost a business's online presence, and drive growth. And the great thing about these deep dives is that you can, immediately apply what we talk about today to improve your business. I mean, think about it. The top 3 Google search results get over 50% of all the clicks. Or how about this? Engagement triggers, like, if you have a calculator embedded on your page, they can massively improve how people interact with your site.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, visibility online is key. And, so many businesses miss out on valuable traffic because they're just not paying attention to how their competitors are doing SEO.
That's a great point. So how can we, use our competitors to our advantage?
Well, it's all about finding your competitors' weaknesses and then capitalizing on them. Like, did you know that something like 97% of pages get zero organic traffic from Google? So that means there's a huge opportunity for people who are just getting the basics right.
Okay, so what are these basics that we need to get right?
Well, it all starts with meticulous on-page SEO. Think of it like this. Google's algorithm is like a 1-year-old. It's a baby. You need to spoon-feed it the information that it needs to understand your content.
Okay, I like that analogy. So where do we start?
Well, let's start with your URL. You want to make sure that the entire keyword phrase is in the URL. And not just part of it. For maximum clarity, it's like a direct signal to Google what the page is all about.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the title tag?
The title tag is super important. It's the first thing that people see, in the search results. So it needs to be compelling. And it also has to include the exact match keyword phrase, because Google actually has what they call a title match score. And this is part of how they determine where you rank. It's like your title tag is like a mini sales pitch to get people to click on your link.
Gotcha. So it's all about grabbing their attention right away.
Exactly. Now, your meta description is a bit of a smaller factor, but it can give you an edge. Just keep it concise and make sure you use your primary keyword in it. Think of it like, a really short summary of your page that's designed to get people to click through to your website.
Makes sense. All right, so we've got the URL, we've got the title tag, and we've got the meta description all set. What's next?
The H1 tag. So this is like the main heading on your page. This should also include your primary keyword. But remember, we're not just stuffing keywords in there for no reason. The H1 tag also needs to be reader-friendly. It should clearly tell people what the page is about.
So it's got to be relevant to both, the people reading it and the search engines too, right?
Exactly. And, just to really drive home the point that the page is relevant to the keyword, make sure you include your keyword phrase in the first paragraph of the content too.
Right, that makes sense. So how do we make sure that we're covering all of the essential information and not missing any key topics?
There are some great tools out there that can actually measure how thoroughly your content covers a topic, and it'll even compare your content to your competitors. Think of it like a checklist. It's making sure you're giving people all the information they need and answering all their questions.
That's super helpful. Okay, so we've got a good foundation with, the on-page SEO, but how do we make our content stand out? And, it's a really crowded digital world out there.
Well, that's where angles of differentiation come in. It's about finding ways to make your content different from everyone else's and, really offer something valuable to your audience.
I like that.
You are listening to Inside the Search Bar podcast with Sarah and Mike, where your hosts dive into the latest SEO strategies, marketing trends, and search insights to help your business grow. So don't forget to subscribe for more expert tips and actionable strategies. Now let's get back to your hosts.
Tell me more about these angles of differentiation.
Well, the first and probably the most important one is to match the user's intent 100%. And that's more than just including keywords. It's about understanding the why behind what people are searching for. Like, what are they really looking for? And how can we tailor our content to give them exactly what they need?
Can you give me an example?
Sure, let's say somebody searches for a motorcycle accident lawyer. They're probably not looking for motorcycle safety tips. They want to find a lawyer that can help them win their case, right? So your content needs to laser focus on that need and help them, get to their desired outcome.
So every piece of content we create needs to have a purpose.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second angle of differentiation, better content design. This is about taking a hard look at your content and saying, does this help the user achieve their goal? Is every element on the page, working towards that objective?
So it's about maximizing conversions, right?
Exactly. Every piece of content should be designed to get people to take a specific action, whether that's, signing up for an email list, downloading something, or contacting your sales team.
Okay, makes sense. So we've got matching user intent and better content design. What's the third angle?
Engagement triggers. This could be things like videos or calculators, interactive quizzes, anything that keeps people engaged and on your page longer. This gives people a better experience, and it also tells Google that your content is valuable.
So for our motorcycle asset lawyer, we could have like a calculator that helps people estimate how much their case is worth or something.
Exactly. Or, a video testimonial from a happy client. Anything that adds value and keeps people engaged is going to be a win-win.
I like it. Now, you mentioned earlier that we need to feed the machine to do well with SEO. What does that mean in terms of these angles?
Well, it's all about understanding how Google's algorithms work and then using that knowledge to create content that's going to rank well. And one of the key technologies that Google uses is natural language processing, or NLP. This is how Google understands human language and intent, and we can use it to create content that Google loves.
Okay, so how do we actually use NLP to our advantage?
There are tools out there that will actually analyze your competitors' content, and they use NLP to figure out what the important topics are for a given keyword. It's basically giving you a roadmap for creating content that's going to be comprehensive and relevant, and of course optimized for Google.
So we're letting data guide our content.
Exactly. And you can even take this data and combine it with AI tools to help you create outlines and write really great content. It's a really powerful combination.
That's really interesting. Now, there's a lot of talk these days about AI-generated content. Should we be using AI to write our content? Or is human-written content still, the best way to go?
That's a great question. And the answer, as with most things SEO, is it depends. For example, we were looking at the top results for Chicago motorcycle accident lawyer, and most of the top content there was actually written by humans.
So human writers still have the edge in this case.
They do, but AI can be a really powerful tool for brainstorming ideas, creating outlines, and even writing certain types of content. The key is to use AI strategically and always focus on quality and relevance.
Okay, that makes sense. So now we've created all this amazing content that's relevant and engaging. How do we make sure that it actually converts? Like, how do we design our content to get people to take action and achieve our business goals?
That's such a good question. Think of your content like a sales page. You want to persuade people to take a specific action, whether that's, signing up for a free trial or requesting a quote or even making a purchase.
I like that analogy.
First and foremost, you need a really strong offer. And I don't just mean like a generic free consultation. You got to give people a compelling reason to take action now. Think about what your audience really values and then create an offer that they can't resist. You can even use AI tools to brainstorm offer ideas.
Oh, that's a great tip. So we've got our amazing offer.
Then you got to design a killer above the fold section. Remember, you only have a few questions to capture someone's attention, so make them count. Your headline needs to be super clear and instantly tell people what's so great about your product or service. So what does your audience care about most? Figure that out and then address it directly in your headline.
Okay, so no more like welcome to our site. We need to highlight a benefit or a solution right away.
Exactly. Make it clear and compelling, then add a clear call to action. Tell people exactly what you want them to do. Get a free quote. Download now. Book a consultation. Make it easy to find and super obvious.
So no ambiguity.
Nope. Don't be afraid to use contrasting colors, bold fonts, anything to draw attention to that call to action.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've got a compelling headline. We've got a clear call to action. What else can we do to boost conversions right away?
Social proof. Remember how we talked about the power of social proof earlier? Testimonials, reviews, client logos. Put that stuff above the fold. It'll build trust and credibility immediately.
So if we've got a great testimonial from a happy customer, we should put that front and center.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to show off those positive experiences. It's a powerful way to, influence people and get them to take action.
This is really great stuff. Okay, so we've optimized our above-the-fold content. What else is important for getting more conversions?
Forms. If you're using forms to, capture leads or get information, keep them short and simple. Nobody wants to fill out a novel. Just ask for the essential information. And if you have a long form, break it down into multiple steps. You don't want to overwhelm people.
So it's about finding that balance between getting the information we need and not making it too complicated for the user, right?
Exactly. Use clear labels, offer helpful hints. You can even, validate their input as they're typing to let them know they're on the right track. A little positive reinforcement can go a long way.
Those are great tips. What else should we be thinking about when it comes to conversions?
Your overall website design and user experience. Make sure your site looks good, it's easy to navigate, and that it works well on mobile devices. A well-designed website can make a huge difference in how people see your brand and how likely they are to, become a customer.
What are some of the key elements of a good website design?
Well, you want to use clear and concise language. You need a visual hierarchy that guides the eye. Use high-quality images, and make sure your navigation is easy to use. And speed matters a lot. People don't want to wait around for your site to load, especially on their phones.
So it's all about creating a smooth and enjoyable experience for the user, from the second they land on your website to the moment they buy something or fill out a form.
Exactly. The easier it is for people to find what they need and take action, the more likely they are to convert.
Okay, so let's talk about user experience beyond our website. How does that play into all of this, SEO and online marketing stuff?
That's a really great question. Building authority goes way beyond your website. It's about making your brand a trusted source of information in your industry. And that can happen across different
So
platforms.
it's about building a reputation that isn't limited to just our website.
Exactly. You want to become the go-to resource in your field. And that could mean things like doing content marketing on other platforms, guest blogging, participating in, online communities, and building relationships with influencers.
So we're building a, holistic online presence.
Exactly. It's about building a web of authority that extends beyond your own website and goes to all the places where your audience is hanging out.
I'm starting to see how all of this fits together. But how do we know if what we're doing is working?
Analytics. Track things like your conversion rate, bounce rate, how long people are spending on your site. That'll show you what's working and what needs to be improved. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things.
So we use data to make better decisions and improve our strategies.
Exactly. And don't forget about mobile optimization. People are using their phones more and more to search and buy things. So make sure your website works well on mobile.
That's a good point. Okay, let's get back to building authority. Besides content marketing and local SEO, are there other strategies that we should be thinking about?
Social media plays a big role in building trust and authority. It might not be a direct ranking factor for SEO, but a strong social media presence can indirectly help your SEO by making your brand more visible, driving traffic to your website, and even getting you some backlinks.
So social media is like a supporting character in our SEO story, but still important.
Exactly. Use social media to engage with your audience, share your content, and build relationships with other people in your industry. It's a great way to connect with potential customers and show off your brand's personality.
So we need to be where our audience is.
Exactly. And, as social media changes and evolves, I think we're going to see even more opportunities to use it for SEO and marketing.
Okay, so now we're creating great content, building relationships on social media. What else is crucial for SEO in, 2025?
We need to talk about AI. It's already changing the SEO world, and it's only going to get more important in the coming years.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's dive into AI and SEO.
So one of the biggest things happening with AI is the rise of AI-powered search results. You've probably heard of Google's AI overview. Like imagine you're searching for something like best morning diet plan. And instead of, a list of websites, you just get a nice little AI-generated summary. It answers your question right there in the search result.
Without me even having to click on anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the crazy thing about the AI overview. It's using, artificial intelligence to look at the top content out there, and then it just gives you the most relevant information up front so people can get their answers really quickly. And, it could totally change how we interact with search results.
Wow, that is a game changer. So how does this impact, SEO and stuff for businesses?
Well, it means that even though, traditional SEO is still super important, getting your site to show up in that AI overview snippet is really, really important. It's almost like a shortcut to the top spot, even if your site isn't ranking #1 organically.
Okay, so how do we optimize for this AI overview thing?
Well, there's not really a secret formula, but it's more about understanding what Google's AI is looking for, right? First of all, your content has to be really good at answering informational queries, so those how-to searches or what is questions. Google's AI is really good at recognizing those and giving people direct answers.
So we should be thinking about, those common questions that people have and making sure our content provides those answers clearly and concisely.
Exactly. Think about it from your audience's perspective. What are they trying to find? What are their problems? If you can really understand that, then you can tailor your content to meet their needs. And, you might just end up in that AI overview.
Okay, see, so are there other things we can do to improve our chances of getting featured?
Well, structure is really important. Think of it like you're teaching Google's AI something. Use clear headings that are phrased as questions. That'll make it super easy for the AI to understand what your content is about and extract information from it. For example, instead of a heading like benefits of morning workouts, use what are the benefits of morning workouts? It's a small change, but it makes a big difference for the AI.
So we need to speak AI language.
Right, and make sure you're providing enough detail. The AI needs to see that your content is comprehensive and in-depth. That way it knows you're an authority on the topic.
Gotcha. Quality and depth are important. What about readability?
Readability is super important. You want to write your content so that anyone can understand it, even if they don't know much about the topic. Clear, concise, conversational. That's the key.
So no jargon or super long and complicated sentences.
Exactly. Oh, and one more thing. Keep your content fresh. Google loves fresh content. Make sure you're updating it regularly. That'll increase your chances of showing up in that AI overview.
Okay, this AI overview is a whole new ballgame. But what about conversions? How do we make sure those people that Google sends our way actually become customers?
That's a great point. It's super important to optimize your content for conversions, especially since the AI might be sending you a lot of really qualified traffic.
Okay, so let's talk about conversions. What should we be focusing on?
Well, think of your website like a storefront. You want to make it really easy for people to come in and buy something. Every element of your website should be designed to get people closer to that goal.
So we want to remove all those little obstacles.
Exactly. And one of the most important areas is your above-the-fold content. That's the stuff that people see right away. Before they even start scrolling, you only have a few seconds to grab their attention.
So how do we make the most of that above-the-fold space?
Your headline needs to tell people what's in it for them. Don't just say something generic like, "Welcome to our site." Tell them exactly what problem you solve or what benefit you offer.
So instead of welcome to our site, it should be something like, get rid of back pain in 30 days.
Exactly. Make it clear, make it compelling, and then add a clear call to action. Tell people what you want them to do, like get a free quote, or download now, or book a consultation, and make sure it's easy to find.
Okay, so we're telling people exactly what to do.
Yep, we can use contrasting colors, bold fonts, anything to make that call to action really stand out.
Gotcha. All right, so we've got a great headline, we've got a clear call to action. What else can we do?
Social proof. Put those testimonials, reviews, client logos right there above the fold. That'll help build trust right away.
So if we've got a really great testimonial from a happy customer, we should put that right up front.
Absolutely. Don't be shy about showing off those positive experiences.
Okay, cool. So we've optimized our above-the-fold content. What else should we be thinking about to get more conversions?
Forms. If you're using form to capture leads or collect information, make sure they're short and easy to fill out. Don't ask for too much information, just the essentials. And if it's a long form, break it up into multiple steps.
Right, so it's about balancing, getting the information we need with making the process as easy as possible for the user.
Exactly. Use clear labels, maybe offer some helpful hints, and you can even give people feedback as they're filling out the form to let them know they're on the right track.
Those are good tips. So besides forms, what else should we be thinking about when it comes to conversions?
Well, your overall website design and user experience are really important. Make sure your website looks good, it's easy to navigate, and that it works well on mobile devices. A well-designed website can really make a difference in how people perceive your brand and how likely they are to convert.
So what are some of the key elements of a good website design?
Well, you want to use clear and concise language. Make sure there's a visual hierarchy that, guides the user's eye. Use high-quality images. Make sure your navigations is easy to use. And speed is important. Your site needs to load quickly, especially on mobile.
Okay, so we're creating a smooth and enjoyable experience for the user from the moment they land on our website to the moment they buy something or fill out a form.
Exactly. The easier it is for people to do what they want to do, the more likely they are to convert.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about user experience outside of our own website. How does that fit into, the bigger picture of SEO and online marketing?
That's a great question. You see, building authority goes way beyond your website. It's about making your brand a trusted source of information in your whole industry, not just on your own site.
So we're building a reputation that goes beyond, individual pages or keywords.
Exactly. You want Google and your audience to see you as like the go-to expert in your field. And that can involve things like, content marketing on other platforms, guest blogging, participating in online communities, building relationships with influencers.
So we're creating a more holistic online presence?
Exactly. It's like building this web of authority that extends beyond your website to all the places where your audience is hanging out.
I see. So how do we know if our efforts are actually working?
Well, you got to track your results. Look at things like your conversion rate, your bounce rate, how long people are spending on your site. That'll tell you what's working and what's not. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try new things and see what happens.
So we use data to improve our strategies.
Right. And don't forget about mobile optimization. More and more people are using their phones to search and buy things. Make sure your website is mobile friendly.
Good point. Okay, so we've talked about creating great content, building relationships on social media. What else is really important for SEO success in 2025?
We need to talk about backlinks.
Backlinks.
Yeah, backlinks. They're like votes of confidence from other websites. The more high-quality backlinks you have, the more Google sees your site as a trustworthy and authoritative source.
Okay, but getting those backlinks seems pretty challenging. How do we do it strategically?
Well, first of all, remember that, great content naturally attracts backlinks. If you're giving people truly valuable information, other websites are going to want to link to you. It's like you become the go-to resource in your niche.
So you're saying our content marketing efforts are really important for backlink building?
Oh, absolutely. But we can be even more proactive about it. Like guest blogging is a great way to get backlinks from authoritative websites. And you get to reach a new audience, too.
So we're kind of like borrowing their credibility?
Yeah, in a way. But it's a win-win. You're giving their audience valuable content. And they're giving you exposure and a backlink.
Okay, that makes sense. What other strategies can we use?
Well, there's something called broken link building, and this is where you basically find broken links on other websites, and you offer your content as a replacement, so you're helping them fix their website. and you're getting a backlink.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and don't forget about creating linkable assets. So this is content that is, so unique or informative or visually appealing that other websites just naturally want to link to it. Things like infographics or data studies, interactive tools, even quizzes.
So we're creating content that's so good people can't resist sharing it.
Exactly. But it's not just about creating the content. You also need to promote it and, reach out to website owners and influencers. Let them know about your awesome content.
So it's a combination of, great content and good marketing.
Right. And that's where outreach comes in. But before we talk about that, there's another important aspect of SEO we need to discuss. Local SEO.
Local SEO, isn't that just for businesses with, Chilska stores?
Well, it's important for any business that serves a local community, even if you don't have a storefront. Like, let's say you're a motorcycle accident lawyer in Chicago. You want to show up when people search for motorcycle accident lawyer Chicago, right?
Right. So how do we optimize for local searches?
Well, first things first, create a Google My Business profile. It's free, and it lets you manage how your business appears in Google Maps and the local search results. So make sure all your information is up to date, your business name, address, phone number, website, hours of operation, all that good stuff.
Okay, so Google My Business is like step one.
Yep. Then make sure your website is optimized for local keywords. Use those keywords naturally in your content, your page titles, headings, image alt text, all of that. And, build citations on local directories and review sites. These are just online mentions of your business with your name, address, and phone number.
So we want to make sure our business information is consistent everywhere.
Exactly. The more consistent your information is, the more trustworthy you'll seem to Google and potential customers.
Okay, so we've talked about, content marketing, backlink building, local SEO. What else can we do to, build trust and authority online?
Well, social media is really important for that. It might not directly impact your search rankings, but a strong social media presence can definitely help your SEO indirectly by making your brand more visible, driving traffic to your website, and even getting you some backlinks.
So social media is kind of like a supporting role in our SEO strategy.
Exactly. Use social media to engage with your audience, share your content, build relationships with influencers. It's a great way to connect with potential customers and show off, your brand's personality.
So we need to be where our audience is.
Yep. And as social media keeps evolving, I think we're going to see even more opportunities to use it for SEO and marketing.
This has been an awesome deep dive. We've covered so much, from on-page optimization to AI-powered search results. What's the one thing our listeners should take away from all of this?
At the end of the day, it's all about the human element. Create content that your audience loves. Make sure their experience on your website is great. And, just genuinely try to help people focus on building real relationships, both online and offline. And never stop learning. The SEO world is always changing.
That's a great point. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you found it valuable. And remember, the future of SEO is bright for those who are willing to embrace change, put the user first, and never stop learning.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights to help your business grow. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep optimizing.